Hello and welcome. It's Dr. Tom Micklewright here from Health Undoctored, bringing you this review of health apps in collaboration with ORCA, the Organisation for the Review of Care and Health Apps. Today, we're going to be taking a look at apps that can help you and your patients manage this winter with coronavirus. All of these reviews are independent. We've had no financial incentives from the app companies, so you're reassured there. And we'll be taking a look at 5 in particular. They are NHS 24, Manage Your Health, Stronger Together, Pathways Through Pain, and the Wiser AI chatbot. Let's begin. The first app we'll take a look at then is NHS 24. Produced by NHS Scotland, is a free coronavirus app. Now there are 2 coronavirus apps produced by NHS Scotland. You've got Protect Scotland, which is a bit like the England Track and Trace app, and then you've got NHS 24, which is about information sharing and signposting. Why might this be needed? Well, because for clinicians it's becoming incredibly difficult to stay abreast of all the new guidelines, and unsurprisingly, patients are struggling too. So I think having one app where all the information can be found is really helpful, especially since a lot of the guides are interactive within NHS 24. You've got symptom checkers, you've got testing guides, there's even a chat function where you can speak to an actual individual if you've got specific queries. It is all Scotland specific, so you're only going to be able to use this if you're working in Scotland or just on the borders. But if you are, fantastic resource that will help simplify the complex information out there. The next app we'll take a look at then is Manage Your Health. And this is an app designed for empowering patients to manage more of their long-term conditions at home, in particular asthma and COPD, which we'll talk about here, but also AF and hypertension, type 1 diabetes, and stroke or TIA. It's a free app developed by Stoke-on-Trent CCG and Keele University, so that's always fantastic. And the amount of information in this app is impressive. By and large, for all the conditions, it follows the same formula. There is a kind of hints and tips FAQ type section, there is a disease and medication specific section, and then there is a lifestyle section with advice on travel, nutrition, exercise. All this material is content that you wouldn't be able to cover in a 10-minute GP consultation, let's be honest. So it's good to have it all inside an app. It's somewhere you can send patients to. There are also a number of videos which were great at demonstrating to patients how to use a peak flow meter or take their inhalers. And they went through every single inhaler device you can imagine. So that was very thorough. On the asthma section as well, there was also an asthma management plan, a digital one. And as we've mentioned before, the presence of an asthma management plan makes a big impact to national asthma mortality. So it's great to have this in a form where patients can access it from their phone. I think the downside of the app was the user interface was a bit clunky. Some things didn't quite make sense, like the asthma symptom diary didn't let me record wheeze or cough, but instead diarrhea, constipation and nausea, which seemed a bit odd. There's also a lot of overlap between the sections. So for instance, in the asthma app, there was a Your Medication tab, and then a little bit further down, a Medication tab, and it was hard to know which was which. There was also some overlap between the help and tips section and the lifestyle kind of sections. So I thought it was a bit hard to find the nuggets of information you were looking for compared to other apps we've reviewed, like the mHealth My Asthma app. So in summary, huge amount of information. I like the digital asthma management plan. I love the videos. So I would say if you've got a patient who you're starting on a non-standard inhaler, it's a great resource for them to use. I think the drawbacks of the user interface, it might affect their ability, the patient's ability that is, to stick with the program, but you can bookmark the useful pages and that might be a way around that. Stronger Together, Staying Healthy at Home is an app that aims to become the Facebook of coronavirus isolation. It's meant for groups that are a bit more prone to isolation, including carers, new parents, the elderly, and those suffering from chronic conditions. After a brief walkthrough from the lovely artificial Mary, we are introduced to a forum where we can post questions, messages, share achievements, and also like and comment on other people's feeds. Now, forums like this, they're only as good as the engagement they get, but for every post you do, every comment you make, you get karma points, which I think is a nice fun way to encourage engagement. You can also filter some of the messages by specific communities. So if you just want to meet or connect with, say, people, other carers or other new parents, then you can do that within the forum. It wasn't totally clear how it was moderated, if at all, which always introduces the risk of people dispensing health advice when they shouldn't be. Moving through the app, you'll see that there is a circle tab, and within this tab, I can do a number of programs. I imagine the ambition is to build this out, but at the moment there are only 2 well-being programs, and to be honest, they're pretty lay. I couldn't see any evidence of strong CBT or DBT input in developing them, so the advices felt a little bit generic. You'll also see there is a health tools app, and I think this is where the focus becomes a little lost for me. Within this tab, you can put in kind of updates on your health stats, what medications you're taking, what your symptom control's been like, as well as content about kind of your build, age, demographics, that kind of thing. But the app doesn't really tell you what it intends to do with that information, how it can help it, or why you'd want to share it with the app. So it kind of lost me a little bit there. Overall though, the ambition of connecting groups that might feel isolated during these times felt really good for me. And I think especially for the elderly that might be taking extra precautions to shield, it could be really great. The biggest downside was it's not quite got enough momentum yet. From my ad list, and maybe it's just me, but I could only see 131 other users, which probably isn't enough for people to really feel part of a community of like-minded people. Overall though, it's a free app, it's pretty low risk, even though it doesn't have the tight moderation of other forums like Me Too. So if you have an individual who is feeling very isolated, especially because of their health circumstance, it might be a good avenue for them to explore. The next app we'll take a look at then is Pathway Through Pain, which is an online pain management course. Now it's free for GPs to refer into in some areas, I don't know where, or it's £40 for a patient to pay for the year. It takes about a month for patients to progress through the course at their own pace, and it follows a very structured format. There are multiple steps through the program, and in each step you start with a video, then you progress to some kind of exercise or activity for the patient to do, and then you have the resources for that activity. And the resources are all stored in a library for the patient to access at a later date. And as you'll see from the list of steps that we've already looked at when reviewing this app, they cover everything from stretching to stress relief. There's a bit of psychology in there, there's stuff around pacing. It really is a pretty holistic approach to pain management and closely reflects what will be covered in the pain management program. There's also a lot of evidence behind it. So they have published in the British Journal of Pain that the patients that went through it reported a 20% improvement in their quality of life and a 24% reduction in problems they were having with daily life. So it is pretty well validated. On the whole, could be a great option for some patients. £40 is going to be a massive cost saving compared to sending someone through a face-to-face pain management program. But if we're honest, this is never going to be a personalised, bespoke service, and I felt sometimes the fact that there wasn't that personalised element felt that the advice landed a little superficially for me. But if you have a patient that is highly motivated with a high level of patient activation, I think they would get a lot out of this program, and it would certainly cut out waiting times for a pain management service. The last app we'll review then is the Weiser AI chatbot for mental health therapy. Skeptical? Yeah, I was too, but bear with me on this one. Weiser is free but offers a premium model. So there are some features that are hidden behind a premium paywall of £50. Those include things kind of like specific exercises for specific mental health complaints, or you can spend £80 and you can actually have 4 sessions with a therapist. But I'll just focus on the free chatbot for now, which I think does an awful lot. Through interacting to and fro with this chatbot, an online conversation does start to feel a little natural, and you'll slowly be introduced to specific exercises that will be shown to you by a therapist, such as gratitude or reframing your thoughts or your beliefs, or looking at meditation and mindfulness. You can also go back and view previous conversations you've had with the chatbot in case there was an exercise or a pearl of wisdom you wanted to review. And I even found Weiser remembered some of these conversations when I was talking to the chatbot, sometimes asking me how I had done in managing situations I was worried about a while ago. Like I said, there are 32 programs within Weiser that target specific areas of difficulties such as relationship challenges or insomnia, and most of that's hidden behind a paywall. You can usually access at least one exercise per program completely for free, just to dip your toe in the water. But if you ignore all of that premium stuff and just focus on the generic chatbot, I think there's huge amounts of value in that. On the whole though, to be honest, this is a tool I probably will be recommending to patients, and I'd encourage you just to download it and have a play around yourself, because if nothing else, it's an interesting insight into where the future of AI could take us. Thank you for watching this video. Just to remind you, we've covered NHS 24, Manage Your Health, Stronger Together, Pathway Through Pain, and the Wiser chatbot. Please do subscribe to this channel. You get all the updates when we've got new videos coming out, or you can find us on Twitter @OrcaHealth or @Mickle_doc. You can also visit my website, www.tommicklewright.com, where you can see some more of my material, including some of my blog pieces. But thank you very much for your time, and look forward to seeing you next time.